Beautiful. Man, yeah, let's see that. Let's go. All right, all right. And we are going to get into this. Yes, we are. All right, all right. Let me go ahead and do this. You can just sit over there for me. Thank you. All right. So, mm, 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 mm. Okay. So we are going to get this going. We're going to get this going. All right. Thank you. I just had to do a quick check on myself. All right. Just had to do a quick check on myself. Now, I wonder, how is everybody? Oh, shoot. I forgot one more thing. I got it. Okay. All right. And we are here. We are good to go. We feel fresh. We feel good. We feel wonderful. I pray that everybody has had a wonderful evening, a good week. You know, this is the stretch of the end of another week for us, right? And I pray that everything is all and well with you and yours. Much respect to everybody here, right? So let's go ahead now that we're done with the formalities. What it is I wanted to start off with today, right? So today I wanted to start off, and because I did, and me, I'm the type, I do like to make, I wouldn't say necessarily promises, but give my word. So I gave my word I was going to do this the right way. So we're going to do this the right way. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. Y'all already know what it is. And we got a few things, a couple little topics I want to talk about. I'm going to dive into a few subject matters that I do believe, could use some attention for us, right? So let's go ahead and let's start this off. And I thank you all for tuning in once again. The time right now is 6:47 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Thank you. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do. What we're going to do is I'm just going to take some time. I'm going to just basically go through a story. Okay. So we're going to go through this story, and we're going to listen, and we're going to see how all of this comes out. Right. So you guys ready? Let's go ahead and do it. Let me see what I have here. I can go ahead and go with this. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Thank you all for tuning in once again. This right here, this is the story of the two who became one. Thank you. So I stare at my hands and I look at my face. I think of a time and I remember this place where lovers could walk together in grace. The picture, it was so perfect. The smell, the taste of love in your life, like bread being baked with comfort and trust right there on your plate. We used to lay by the shores with our feet in the sand as we would watch how the lions would lay with the lamb. And we gazed at the stars. It was such a marvelous sight. And then we flew to the moon as we would dance through the night, you see. Your love, it's queen, and it's the sweetest taboo. And I cherish the day that God brought me to you. Your taste is of honey, as from the rarest of flowers, as we would bathe one another under waterfall showers. We work through the day as honeybees do. I'll gather the wood while you pick the fruit, and I'll start up the fire while you mix the soup. My love, I shall never desert you, and these words are truth. You see, I was designed just for you, sculpted at birth. And if it wasn't for the God, then you would come first. But my life is your shield for whatever that's worth, because I still believe you were sent down from the heavens just to light up the earth. Now years have flown by, and our youth has gone away, but our love remains strong with hair turning gray, and the picture, it's so vivid, it feels just like yesterday. Heaven sent down these angels with a message to say, you soon shall depart, so let's get ready to go. But see, that's when I screamed, oh God, please no. Just take me instead for my love. She is blind, but the angels, they replied that it's just not your time. So now with this lifetime of memories that's held in my heart, I begged and I pleaded, don't pull us apart. But see, that's when she grabbed my hand and she said, it's okay. Don't you worry, my love. I won't be far away. You see, God has a plan laid out in his will, and we will be back together as promise fulfilled. I shall always be with you, right here by your side, for the spirit shall live, but the body, it must die. So stay in good faith and please don't you cry, for I've cracked my cocoon. Now it's time that I fly. And with a heavy heart, that's when I turned to the angels and I said, you know, I would have gone first. And they replied, yes, but indeed, if you had, then who would protect her? So just stay strong. Thank you. That was something that I made a my word that I had to deliver. And my bad about that. I don't feel as if last night gave it justice. I don't know. I think something went wrong with my mic. It didn't sound right on my end. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to it. I'm so man, you talking about a beautiful feeling. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about a few things. I want to see, listen, during these like early morning, these hours, these, this is the time for us to basically get our minds bow in check. Let's get our minds, introduced to the day, right? That's how this should work. Let's get our minds introduced to the day. Okay, you guys. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Let me see what we got. Just make sure this isn't too loud. I've been trying to make sure I keep up with that. There we go. All right. So let me go ahead and go to my list. And we're going to go ahead and pull up some videos. And I thank you all once again for tuning in, whoever you may be. This is definitely a beautiful time in life right now. And, the main reason why it is because, what's crazy? I'll tell y'all a quick story, right? So this is a quick story before we get everything kicked off. And I thank you all for tuning in. What's so wild is that it's like whenever I recognize whatever it might be that I might go through, I see, I experience, right? There's something about that experience that it doesn't just give me more wisdom, or, it doesn't just teach me something. I actually absorb the actual instant, right? And the thing about it that makes it such a beautiful thing is that during the moment of the absorption, it is a very, very uncomfortable feeling. But see, and I'm very thankful for this, being built with such a high tolerance of resilience. It's like once I absorb that moment, it's like then that moment does not become me. I then am able to give that moment back in a way in which it didn't come through. So let's say something bad happens to you in your life. You have to know how to be able to take in what just took place and turn that into something that can benefit not only yourself, but other people. Is basically what I'm getting to. So we're going to go ahead and get to these videos. But it's a, man, I'm telling you. So let me go right here to my list, and you all just give me one moment. Y'all know how I am with this. You need to run to the bathroom, do whatever you got to do. Go ahead, do that now. Do it whenever you feel like doing. Because we don't control no one over here. We are all gathered for the, let's just say, for us to be able to just simply exchange information, right? So let's just go ahead and do this. Hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. Now I was making sure I had my video. Okay, so one, I want to tap in on this. I want to really tap in on this a lot better. I want to play this video back, right? So I'm going to tap in on this. Let's go to it. And then I got a few other things, just to kind of get the morning going. Let's open our minds up, okay? Because I'm going to talk a little bit about this. And I have we're going to be switching it up, all right? So let's do this. Respect to you all. I thank you. All right, so let's do this. What do we got? Wow. So I really want to open this right here up. Hold on. Oh shoot, I didn't have the video pulled up. I'm tripping. All right, let's do it. Thank you. Let's go.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
But tell the people.
Yeah. My advice for young couples. I've been with my wife 20 years. We've been married over 10 years. Now look, this advice, it ain't sexy. It ain't spicy. They not gonna make it a podcast topic because boy gonna just scroll right by because it's boring. What a magic, baby. This is what it is. Advice to young couples. Slow down. Slow down. Anytime you start feeling that I want to get married, I just want to be with her, I want to be with him. I want to.
Now, he has a point there. You got slowed down in the. Am I still here? Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, my bad. Let me do it like that. There we go. Yeah, slow down in the aspect of don't be so quick to come to any one direction conclusion. Slow down. Don't be so quick to just hop into being married. That's all. Just not saying take forever. I have something that I live by. This is a motto of mine that I live by. At this point in my life, I am not rushing anything because years go by too fast now. But at the same time, I'm not wasting another moment. Thus, I pace myself. So I don't rush anything now. And I damn sure don't just sit on it to the point where that moment, that opportunity just blew by, right? At least I try not to, let's say. So slow down and just jumping to any one direction of a conclusion. So let's keep on listening to what reason why he says.
Move in. I want us to go. Anytime you start feeling that angst that I want this to be a certain way, even if you want the person to change. I don't want them to be like that. I want them to be like this. I want them to understand me. Slow.
We all have wants and needs for relationships. Everybody does. But when you put your needs before the relationship, that's when you're basically in sabotage mode slowly. What I'm saying is this. Not saying don't have your needs. I want you to follow what I'm saying. What I'm saying specifically is when you put everything that you want before the both of you, there are times you need to just put you first. There are times you may need to just step off for your own mental health or sanity or something and then regroup, right? So you need that, like right at that moment, that is a healthy time to be selfish. You need to think of yourself if it's something that's breaking down your peace, right? Disturbing it. Now, the whole having the relationship revolve around just what it is that I want in the relationship, that's not serving the person that I'm with any just due. Like that person isn't getting just due from me being like doing that. That isn't beneficial, because it's not about getting together to see how independent you all can be together. It is about becoming one, to be interdependent, right? You're always supposed to know that you can look to your counterpart, and vice versa. Your counterpart should always know that they can look to you as well. Let's go.
Damn. If in that moment you can slow yourself down and not be so in a rush to get where you want to go, but be present in the presence to understand what's happening at that moment, it will change the trajectory of your relationship. Why? Because you will allow each other to organically unfold.
That's right. Again, just like how I said before, and I will reiterate that. All right. And I will definitely give you guys the camera for that part. One of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life, right? Like, just to give you all a nice little tip. Excuse me. One of the biggest mistakes I used to make in my life was when I was speaking about the being an open book, right? If anybody has maybe seen that clip, I don't know. So I used to go into circumstances, man, and it's like I'm so pressed to be, I guess, I don't know, you want to say real, honest, whatever, really honest. That's the truth. And so what happens is I found myself, let's take it from a dating circumstance standpoint, even friendships, even some people hanging out with. I've had so many like heavy things that has happened to me. And the mistake I used to make is being too quick to want to share my life with people. And then what I realized is two things generally happen, right? Off rip. One, either that is used to exploit you, right? So you tell people a bunch of stuff and then they exploit that. They use that against you. So I had to learn that lesson. Be careful who you tell what to. The second thing is everybody can't handle what you consist of. I'm serious. Listen, I know that sounds like what you trying to say. You're so good. No. I recognize that some of the things I would tell people sometimes, I'm being honest, especially women. Yo, I realized I had to like chill on that. I can't just come out the gate telling you I went through this, I went through that. That shit, because you know what it is. You don't want to come into the circumstance sounding like, because what it sounds like to people is you got a bunch of problems and issues and unresolved. And so it's almost like you trying to let them know off rip, like, look, I got problems, you see? And so that's where I learned. Stop just opening your book right at the middle and just shoving it in people's face. No, what I do is I make sure that my book is just somewhere on the shelf, right? Presents it, right? You want to read the book, you can. Now, when we read books, like I said, we do it one page at a time. So I had to learn to like slow down and allow that person to just organically, naturally get to know me, and vice versa. Um, that's why I even always knew, like, I don't rush to get to know you, because people know I also have a saying: once you want a mind, you want a mind for life. Like, you one of my homies or whatever. Once we cool, I'm not gonna turn on you. Do people have reasons to respond at times? Yeah. But I ain't just gonna turn on you. I'm not just gonna do something for nothing. Promise that. So I had to really get a grasp of that. You see? Let's go ahead and get back to it.
Versus rush a process. If you cooking and it take an hour, but you trying to hurry up and get it done in 30 minutes, you never gonna know what that dish was truly supposed to be, because you didn't give it the time to organically become what it was supposed to be. So now you throwing the dish out because it tastes like garbage, and anybody asks you, hey man, how was the recipe? Man, that recipe trash. You don't know if the recipe is trash. You didn't give the recipe time to develop. Huh?
Absolute 1000% facts. I can't think of anything that I know how to do that I didn't take the time to learn how to do. Everything. It's not one thing I can think of, unless it's like breathing, like something natural, right? But anything at all that I've ever been able to do well, art, draw. Not the best artist in the world, but I would say I'm fairly decent. Whatever skill level I'm on today, I had to do that. I had to how many balled up papers were around a little small office trash can in the corner of the room, because I just keep on start over. And it's a lot of times you just have to keep at it. It's the only way. And the only reason why I know that I'm good at what I'm good at is because I thoroughly tried it. The only reason why I know I don't like what I don't like, as far as food, music, everything, it's because I actually gave it a chance. Like, all right, let me see, certain artists and stuff. Well, let me go ahead and listen. Let me give it a shot. If I wound up liking it, it's because I actually gave it a chance, and I listened to it with open ears, not a closed heart. And I gave that entire whatever circumstance the opportunity to see, okay, what can come of this? Now, the thing about it is, that's going to vary from person to person. Everybody's threshold is different. You may not have the patience somebody else has. Somebody else may not have the patience that you do. Is that anybody's fault? No. It's called being an individual human. Let's keep rocking on.
You didn't do the recipe right. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do the recipe right. So in the relationships, you have to slow down and allow each other to organically become who y'all supposed to be in that moment. And then based off of that, then you can judge, is this person for me, or is this person not for me? Boring advice, I know, but try it out. It'll change.
Okay, let's go ahead and get to this. Let's do the show. I appreciate it. Let's get back to this. All right. Now, and much respect to any and everybody who may be watching. I appreciate you. 1 second, please. Forgive me. When I do that, it's only because I don't want to cough. I'll be coughing and stuff so. I apologize if from time to time you see me kind of pause. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and go to it. Now, this is what I want to address, right? So let's address this. Make sure I still have it in my notes. Yes, I do. Okay. I want to go ahead and I want to address function, right? How we process things, right? Let's go ahead and let's see what we got, right? So I wanna tap in on something. So let me say, yeah, I gotta type it in. Let me just type it in. Make it faster. Let me get this microphone out the way. My bad, y'all. All right, here we go. Okay, so all right. So let's see. Let's see what we got right here, right? So let's listen. So, and the reason why I like to share things like this, again, I'm telling you, over here, you're going to get, a nice little bit of all of these things. So, you know what I've noticed? A lot of folks, a lot of us here, we will, it's nothing wrong with, I guess you can say, talking about relationships, if you want to say, right? What's wrong with that? I do it, right? Don't, isn't this, I guess, kind of the space for that, right? Ish, whatever. But you know what I noticed? There is a lot more talks that are had that revolve around. There are a lot more talks that are had that revolve around either what somebody believes the solution is or should be, or what somebody believes the problem and or is, right? And or the problem, basically. And so then I get to thinking to myself, like, well, does anybody ever try to like figure out like what goes on when people respond certain ways, when people do certain things, react, whatever it may be, what causes this emotion, what causes that? And so I just want to be one, like while I'm sitting around, because just as much as I may listen to what people are saying, I also then go and I try to study and figure out, okay, you know what? Boom. Now I know, listen, we do to a degree, we will speak about traumas, right? Let me go ahead and hit this. My bad, John. We'll speak about traumas and things of that nature, like childhood traumas and things like that that might have been a key factor as to why somebody responds or does the things that they do. Like me, I didn't realize myself, right? So one thing digging deep within myself and tapping in, I actually realized, right? One day, dang, because of something that I actually went through as a kid with a babysitter. It wasn't anything sexual. No. It was like more like neglect, right? I had a babysitter that was real neglectful. And so throughout that time, I don't know, apparently from what I was told from my elders and other relatives, I became like real distant. And this is around the time I'm this age, right? I was like 5, 6. And I actually remember like not really talking as much, not being as social as much. And then until finally, my people's had, doctors talk to me, therapists, things of that nature. Like I said, around 12. Then come to find out I was going through like anxiety withdrawals. Anxiety, and it was something I cannot remember what he actually called it. I haven't looked into these things in so long, but the point that I'm making is that I didn't realize, because the way somebody treated me when I was a kid is the reason why I became real withdrawn just from society and life, period, right? So then that's how I wound up finding myself growing up and being into that more so like loner stage, right? And then boom. So throughout that stage, that's how I really developed learning myself, because I went through a long phase of just being a loner, right? And so throughout that phase, it was a lot that I discovered about myself. But you know something, one thing that I never was really able to tap in on is, what is the reason why I would at times get a very, very nervous feeling, right? Then come to find out, a lot of it is rooted back there. So then what did I do? I had to learn and I had to develop exercises to realize what was going on with me at that time. You see, this is why I always speak so much about know yourself. I'm going to always keep saying that. I'm a matter of fact, I'm going to get shirts made. Don't worry. I'm going to just get some made for me. I'll make them and wear them. So thank you. I forgot this. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this video up. Y'all ready? And I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is 7:15 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's go. Let's listen to the science of emotion regulation. Yeah, that's right. And the video's not long, just for, for your short-tempered people. It's only about 9 minutes. It's not that long. And I'm going to let most of it play. Let's go.
A room and felt suddenly sad or anxious and had no idea why you're feeling that way because no one's around, your brain can activate strong emotions without you being aware of why you feel that way.
Is it just me? Hold on.
That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychologist.
Now, throughout this, the interesting contrast that I'm trying to figure out here. Maybe you can listen and help figure this out with me. You know how we have what we call intuition, that gut feeling, or, spiritual, or the spirit, right? So remember, this is what science is saying. And I wonder how much is what is being spoken about correlated with what we would call intuition. Because, like, for example, say like the mother who, because we've heard the story, she pop up in the bed and she's sweating, something ain't right. Come to find out, her baby got in an accident or something bad happened, and she's like, I woke up out of my sleep, I knew it. You see? So let's make a correlation here this morning between the science of this and the actual organic part of this, right? Let's go ahead and get it. I digress. My mic is muted. I thank you all for tuning in.
Psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. This is the first video in a series that I'm doing talking about emotions and emotion regulation. We all have emotions and they serve important purposes. They help motivate us to action. Emotions help us communicate with each other. For example, our body language and facial expressions are reflections of how we feel. And often, facial expressions or a tone of voice sends a stronger message than the words that you use.
And I'm a big advocate for that. And that's why, like, I do, like, it's something about human, like, listen. All right, so I'll put it like this. I'm one of the people who was always confused. Watch where I go when it comes to communication. Now watch this. Let's take phones. So, it started with like Morse code, walkie-talkie type stuff. Then finally, we got actual landlines, the rotaries, regular push phones, right? Okay, boom. Now, what I noticed is that we now have these right here, right? So we now have these cell phones. And with these cell phones, we can do something called text. Now, I want you to think how, in my mind, it seems so reversed. So you would think back in the day, the number one thing we used to do was text each other because we weren't at the capabilities of talking and walking around in the store and FaceTiming and things of that nature, right? So it's so funny how back when we had phones, house phones, we talked way more. And it's like now we have the capability extra and we don't talk as much. So my point is in what she's saying, when she's talking about facial expressions, all of that, it's a lot that goes on when you actually can see the person's face, when you're actually near that person. Human interaction cannot be replaced by technology. Is my point. You can't do it. There's no way. I'm telling you, I'm talking about the human race. Us is I'm on planet Earth, everywhere you are, anywhere you are. It's not fully at that point because we all long to be touched, to be held, to dap up, right? To just connect, hug. We all long for these things, human interaction. So technology hasn't taken it over just yet, but I'm telling y'all, it's getting to a real scary point now. I'm going to take a slight detour. All right, now I want you to just stick with me, okay? If you like to. Let's take a smooth ride. I can go right to this. Now I have a short. Now I know people can't stand this person. Let me see something here. Let me see, is it there? Wait 1 second. I think it's because I had put it in a certain category. So let me go to mine right here and see something. I'm pretty sure it's okay, so here we go. Watch this. I'm gonna just type it in. I was trying to take a shortcut, so here we go. Now, let's see if we can. Let me see something here. All right, so look, this is what I mean by genuinely, when we cease to communicate and have interactions, I mean, even listen, work, you name it, us as humans, when we disconnect, because there has to be a connection, something else just might reconnect it. But it may not be the type of reconnection that we may like. It may be something that can be detrimental for the human race. Who knows? Let's go. So I'm going to play this real quick. I know we can't stand them, but I want us to listen to the message. Okay? Get the message.
AI stuff. I think it's something, I don't know, which we should be concerned about. I don't know. I think we should need some kind of like regulatory authority or something that's overseeing AI development and just making sure that it's operating within the public interest. And you know, it's quite a dangerous technology. And I fear I may have done some things to accelerate it, which is, I don't know. So, I mean, some of the AI stuff I think is just obviously useful, like what we're doing with.
Now, let's go ahead and get right on back to this video. So now that human interaction, that communication that comes with all of this, that is so important. I'm telling y'all now, it is absolutely crazy. Hold on. So let me do this. Let me pull this back up. Bow. Boom. Let's go.
Environment, you can get a gut feeling that something's not right about a situation. Your gut feeling isn't always accurate, but it does inform you about how you should consider the situation. Is this situation a threat or not? And this is where our biology comes in. There are several brain regions involved in generating and processing emotions. For simplicity, I'm only going to discuss 3 of the areas that are involved, especially when we experience stress and trauma. These 3 areas are the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the hippocampus. I'm going to talk about the science of it and then apply that to how that works in real life. The amygdala is a small structure located deep in the brain that acts as an emotional alarm system, like a threat detector. It's a subcortical structure, which means that it acts on instinct and not reasoning. Your
Fight or flight. It's that section.
cortex is where the reasoning happens. Let's say I'm walking on a sidewalk on a busy street, and a car is coming too close to the sidewalk as if it might hit me. Before I become aware of how close the car is, my amygdala senses the danger and triggers the release of cortisol and adrenaline that gives me the power to move out of the way and run if I need to. How did the amygdala sense the danger? It got the information from my eyes, maybe even my peripheral vision, and then the sound of the car as it came close to me. And all of that happened before my mind registered it as a car that's coming too close. Your amygdala is also involved in associating emotions with specific memories. This is why certain memories can evoke strong emotional responses. Another thing the amygdala does is recognize and interpret facial expressions, particularly those associated with fear and other strong emotions. It helps us understand and respond to other people's emotions, which is necessary for empathy and social interaction. Early in development, our amygdala is not that active because we're sheltered and protected by our caregivers. But when there's childhood abuse or neglect, your amygdala becomes prematurely active.
Now, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? So when we talking about certain traumas that may occur and why we can't get over certain things in life that may have taken place to us decades ago, something was prematurely activated. This is interesting.
Early activation causes excessive and chronic stress hormone release, especially cortisol. So early trauma and stress lead to an overactive and oversensitive amygdala. As powerful as the amygdala is, it doesn't work in isolation. The hippocampus and amygdala are interconnected and communicate back and forth with each other. The hippocampus is a brain structure located in the temporal lobe. It's involved in encoding and consolidating emotional memories. Let's say I get invited to
It's basically right behind your temples. And you know what I find to be so fascinating is how, usually what's inside of temples, like actual temples that are built. You ever thought of why they're called temples and the connection with that in here? You see? And, just from things that I've seen and looked up before, I've just researching. But apparently your temples is the main reason why they say the body is the temple, because it's like that's your main, like the main central structure. Of course, the brain, but I'm speaking about the temples. It's believed that's what actually is part of what the mind can interact with, because there's a difference between the brain and the mind. Forgive me, it's not always that easy for me to explain this and not sound like I'm saying something off. But the brain and the mind. So your creativity and all of that, that's the mind, right? Your fears, all of it, mind. Me moving my hand up and down, right? That's what the brain is like you see? But they do intertwine at times, Let's go.
Dinner, and I don't know the people that well. They're friends of friends who want to include me in the group. I go, and the hosts spend the dinner hour in heated political discussions, grilling me about my political views. I spend the rest of the evening annoyed and insulted. Months later, my friends have a gathering at their home, and this couple shows up. I see them and immediately feel tense. They haven't said anything to me, but just seeing their face makes me feel angry and fearful. And I feel uneasy because my hippocampus reminds me of the experience and associates them with unpleasantness.
So if that's the case, how does one, so then how would a person who has these, I guess, maybe traumas or experiences, whichever one you want to word it as, then how would that individual go about clean slates, if you want to say, like, not like how, if I have gone through certain things, how would I then turn around and not put somebody under the bus or judge them? Because you see what I'm saying? So if we know that it's extra sensitive, like from a scientific standpoint, right, through study, it was prematurely activated, which caused a lot of intense stress at too early of a stage in life. That then, even in your older stages in life, can make it overactivated and sensitive. It's like basically hypersensitive. That's all it is, right? So now that we know this, right? So boom, we just learned something. How exactly? Now I know people would say get some medication or things of that nature, but I wonder about that. How would a person go about still functioning without taking that out on every other person they come across? You see? So let's just keep listening. I got something else for us too. We're gonna go have a nice little ride this morning. Let's get it on.
Another thing the hippocampus does is link emotions to the context in which they occur. It helps us remember not only what happened, but where and when it happened. So in this case, with the dinner at my friend's house, I associate this couple with having extreme views and being very judgmental. But they could have acted like that because they were drunk and in their own home. Now, being at someone else's house, they may be more personable. That's contextual information that helps me process my initial emotional reactions and adjust my expectations because of the different set of circumstances. So I have this reflex response of,
oh no, I may end up going off on this couple in front of everyone if they start up on me again with this stuff.
But after some context, I pull back from that and think,
there's too many people here for them to act like that, so things will probably be fine.
The third structure is the prefrontal cortex, which is
Anterior cerebrum cortex. That just honestly to me sound like a person who was using logical discernment at that moment. That was a person who exercised time and place. If you want to just put it in a basic form, you can put it in a very, very basic sense. It was just that seemed discernment to me, like, you know what, hold on, right? So let's go ahead and do this.
Located in the front part of your brain. The prefrontal cortex also helps tame our emotional responses by evaluating the emotional significance of a situation, consider the potential outcomes, and then generate appropriate emotional responses. So it's the thinking and evaluation center. It also has reciprocal connections with the amygdala and hippocampus. So after it performs its analysis of the situation, it sends back information to the amygdala to regulate the intensity of your emotional response. Those are a few of the structures involved in emotion regulation. Here's what happens when things go wrong. When you are exposed to adverse situations early in life, you get premature and overactivation of the amygdala. If the amygdala is overactive, it can override the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex and block them from giving us information that is reassuring. If this happens, you can be at the mercy of your emotions and be so stirred up that you can't talk yourself down or think your way through the situation.
The compound urolithin A seems to act.
I like this actually.
Perspective information from the hippocampus and the reasoning ability of
Oh shoot, my bad. I hit a button, my bad.
the prefrontal cortex. It's like your amygdala becomes sentient intelligence and just takes over and dominates the whole system. Brain scans confirm this and have shown that people with PTSD have amygdala hyperactivity and hypoactivity of the hippocampus. This leads to emotion-based reactions. And this is what causes intrusive memories and flashbacks that you can get with post-traumatic stress disorder. With the flashbacks, you re-experience the event as if it's happening now, and you can't pull in the contextual information that you need to ground yourself. You don't see and experience the obvious facts like what you're thinking about happened in the past, and you're safe now, and you do have the power to protect yourself in the present. You can't think through it like that because you don't have the information you need from your other brain structures.
That is definitely on point information. I didn't realize how deep things like that actually see when you know, just thinking about it from certain perspectives. You know, because you know how we will always, you know, we'll have our thoughts about something. We'll be thinking about some things, but then it just is wild. So what I'm gonna do is now for the morning, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get to this next video. That this one's interesting. Let's get it. I want to make sure I'm at the right one. But of course, real quick, what I want to make sure I do, if you'll just give me one quick moment here. All right. And remember, just in case no one else gave it to you, if I got one, I want you to have it. All right. We passing out hugs like Oprah. All right. Make sure you keep joy in your life. Let me see. All right, so I'm gonna go here. Yeah, I'm gonna just go to my history. Oh, no. Shh, I'm tripping. I can do it just like this. I apologize. So we're gonna get into something that's really, this is one of those. And let me go to this playlist and go on to my, because I have so many, you know, I didn't realize I was looking at this and just everything that's on here, and I didn't realize how many lives I've done before, and no clue I did this much work in this time that I've been here. All right, so we're gonna do a quick story. I just want to talk about this because Black History Month shouldn't always just revolve around, you know, who we see as the prominent figures. This story right here is amazing. Let's just look at it real quick. Just a quick, amazing story.
Leaving Dunkin' Donuts, we're turning to Cotman Avenue, and you just hear a loud bang, and then a ball of fire and black smoke. So I tell the kids, get down. Sound like a missile was firing bullets, metal at my car, everyone else's car. You see a car on fire.
Now, I'm not, just trust and believe, you know, you got to get out and live. We only here once, but you know, folks like myself, this is why I am personally very, very mindful of like large crowds a lot of times now. I am not pressed to be. It's because it's something about, that's the best place when that dummy wants to like go ahead and see how many they can take out before themselves type stupid stuff. So I mean, this is so unfortunate, but let's listen to the story though. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like you can't even like enjoy yourself. And then, they go as far as to remove extra safety. Think about it. Stores, grocery stores, grocery stores, schools, church. And we all know it's been multiple stories of all of these places being terrorized, right? So it's like it's one of those nowhere safe, unfortunately. And the thing is, I don't really like to talk about that too much because I don't like to be the one sounding like I'm pumping fear in people's heads. But what I am saying is be very mindful and cautious about where you're going. Try to get a good look the place up, look up what the type of, reputation of things go on the area, whatever it may be. Just do more research before just going and hopping out anywhere just to party and put your phone up and say, you see that? Did you? What the? So it sounded like you tried to jump out the tank. Man, I done lost my train of thought, man. Let me just push play. That done threw me all the way off.
A man walking on fire. It was just crazy. And then in the midst of backing up, I hear my son, Andre, and I turn around, on the side of his head. So trying not to be reactive, get out, get the kids out, take the metal. As I moved him, the metal fell out and there was just blood gushing. So I had a pair of socks, put it on his head. There was another guy gave me a shirt to put on his head, flagged the cop down. They came, they put all of us in the back of a cop car, took us to Jefferson Hospital.
And they went through with the brain surgery.
Yes, they did an A+ job on my son. Praise God, they did a great job on getting him back to recovery so he could come to CHOP.
Also, this is why I'm so huge on, again, I am such a huge component of, I don't want to leave here with on bad blood with no person. I'm so serious about that. People can be upset about something here and there, but I don't want to leave planet Earth with no bad blood with nobody. And the reason why I'm saying that, as far as that young boy, unfortunately, that happened to, I personally, of course, know what it's like. I got a story for you after that. I personally know what it's like to just, you know what I'm saying, leave out. You don't have no clue. I'm telling y'all, like, so serious. You don't never know. And so that is why I do everything I can to, no matter what takes place in my life, I must, I will be dishonoring God for sparing me if I didn't. I was spared. Like, how dare I just sit around and be miserable? It's a disrespect to our loving creator. You see, that's when you're able, like, when you reach past that stage of, like, are there disappointments? Are there heartaches? Will you be upset about? Of course. Listen, it's a natural human emotion, right? Shit happens. Who doesn't it happen to? You telling me it's never happened to you if you've lived long enough? Those three things I just named at some point, if not all three at once. You see? But, like, that's why I do. Like, I'm so serious when I say my appreciation for life is a lot deeper at this point. It really is. I do not take this for granted. Because, see, the thing is, we've been so desensitized. We got young rappers and stuff laughing about, folks not being here no more and stuff. Deleted, right? Like, we actually celebrate it. We talk about we smoking on this and that. People actually, I want you to really think about that. People actually laugh at death, like laugh at it, not realizing how serious and real it is once you're on the other side. It's really real. And that's why I've always made sure that ever since that, what I came through, and see what happened to me at a older stage and, later stage in life. It's a young boy. I don't know. He looked like, they'll show the picture of him. I don't know. He looked like maybe about 8 or something. I don't know. He don't look like he older than 12. You see? I'm telling y'all now, this is why I get it. When I say, I get it, I see it. Because, when I hear stories like this, I say to myself, yep, I know what it's like to leave your house, and you had no clue everything, your entire world was going to change in a few hours or a few moments. You had no clue. You were not prepared for it. He wasn't ready. I was not ready. I had no clue. I was going to walk out my door and 20 minutes later, my whole life would change for the rest of it. I didn't see that shit coming. You see? I ain't see that coming. So that's why I take a lot of this serious. I don't play with life. I don't have no more time to play with it. I played enough. Outside, all of them been did that. I still go out because, fresh air and relieve yourself, as far as that's how the creativity keeps flowing too. I still go sit by the lake even in the winter. Right? That's very deep. Let's keep listening. Let's listen to the rest of this. I got a couple more for us real quick too, because I really want us to make sure that we see. This is the thing, just like how, how I said, when I was asked, what does Valentine's Day mean to me? What's the meaning of Valentine's Day? I was asked that right on the show. And my response was the day of acknowledgement, basically. And of course, we always should be acknowledging all through the year. But it's like, I would say it's like that peak day reminder, It's like when you're in a relationship, your birthday is like your reminder that there's an anniversary somewhere around, right? It's like to remind you, kind of, Let me see what we have here. Always, my sister. Let's listen.
He's now getting, again, grade A service. They are lovely here. I feel safe here with him, and I feel like he's going to recover. He said his first real words today, asked me about the Super Bowl. But the thing that broke my heart with him today, and I tried to not cry, but it had me crying. Daddy, did I save my sister? Andre, what do you mean? When the plane crashed, I was just trying to help my sister. You told us to get down, and then she got up to look at the fire, and I grabbed her down, and then the next thing you know, I thought I died. It kind of broke me down. So if I'm pausing right now, it's because I don't want to cry. But as a dad, it was a bittersweet moment. For one, knowing my son, he listened to me growing up, and he's becoming a great young man, a great big brother, to know to defend your sister. But as a dad, seeing,
and that's another thing that I want us to also pay attention to. Notice how, what did he say? What did he ask him? He said, did I save my sister? Just think about what it is that he actually is raising him to be. Now, that's the beautiful part about what I'm seeing right now. At that young of a stage in that boy's life. And see, I'm not going to lie. Listen. I know. I be saying, man, we don't cry in public, stuff like that. We all know that there are moments of exceptions. I can't front. if that grown man was to bust out wailing off of that, I have nothing to say, but please get him a Kleenex, a tissue. Get him some water and a tissue. No bull. Like, it ain't no shame on that one right there. Because that's a different type of cry. You know, just like how you have different angers, right? You have like emotional, like, no. All anger, all of it's emotion, but which is the energy that moves you. But you have rage, anger. There we go. You have anger that's rage. And then you have what I like to call righteous anger, right? Like when the Messiah, the son of Mary, they say what went in there and turned over some tables, right? I would consider that righteous. And like sometimes it's like you angry for the right reason. You trying to harm my own. It's righteous anger, right? So in this moment right here, this would be that different type of cry if that was the case. Let's just finish this and get through it.
And my son like that, that's my job to protect them, not his job to protect his sister. But it's just, thank God that my son is still here. Thank God that we didn't go into that flame, because it could have been a different situation where we all could have transitioned to heaven.
I look, let me just say this, y'all. See, I'm telling you. All I'm gonna say is, like, I remember watching this, but I didn't really pay attention to that part. You know how when you look at something, you're like, oh, I ain't catch that. I ain't catch that he said that word. Yeah. Because you don't die. Your spirit is of energy. You can't kill energy. You can harm the flesh, but the energy that controls that vessel, it just transfers. That's it. It just it just transitions. That's all. Now, the part that makes all of that at times, I guess you can say, such a scary thing is, what can make that so scary is none of us really know. Like you in particular, we don't know. You know, we read books and we pray. We have something called faith, you know, but none of us really know. We theorize, we hypothesize, you see. We estimate, we guesstimate. But let's go ahead and get to the next video.
But I'm just happy that he's here.
Let's do it. All right. Oh, see my notes. That's right. All right. So let me see something here too. Okay. So now I want to go ahead, you know, just for us to go ahead and kind of kick back, as you know that we get educated at times. I like to make sure that we stay up to par on certain things, but I want to pull this up. So, all right, me being from here, right? So I'm from here, and growing up, I remember there was a group called Drew Hill. I'm pretty sure a lot of you all do too, right? So I don't know. I just found it to be an interesting story because, you know, I always did. I was wondering, you know, how you have one of those where are they nows, you know? So, you know, him and that group, Drew Hill, I believe they're from here, Baltimore. I'm not from Baltimore, but it's Maryland. You know what I'm saying? That's just the other side. That's all. And shout out to my peoples from there. But let's go ahead and get it. I'm gonna pull this video up. All right, so let me go ahead. All right, so let's do it. What is this? Okay. I don't know what they doing. That's crazy. So let's go ahead and look at this video. They're basically talking about, I guess, why he got ran off from the industry. It's something different. Let's go ahead and listen. I digress. My mic is muted. Thank you all for tuning in.
Away from the music scene, Cisco has finally revealed why he was pushed out of the industry, and his reason will leave you shocked. Once proclaiming himself as a dominant force in R&B, he found himself blackballed, serving as yet another reminder of how shady the music industry can be, especially when artists refuse to comply with its demands. So grab a seat, because you're about to get the full rundown on what really happened to Cisco's career in the mid-2000s and what led to his sudden downfall. It all started with whispers from music executives claiming that Cisco was too difficult to work with. Then, rumors about him being gay began circulating, followed by accusations of him being a dead.
Now, to be quite honest, like, I think most of us know back in the day, if you was anybody who did like the leathers with no shirt underneath, like the leather vest, no shirt underneath with the ski goggles, and somehow or another, most of your dance had to do with your stomach rolling. Yeah, I mean, we usually thought all of y'all was back in the day. All of y'all, genuine, all of y'all. Then you get older and you recognize the ins and outs of it, and you also recognize that shit was true. Let's keep on going.
Beat dad. Before long, his reputation took a major hit and his career started to spiral. In the end, Cisco never fully recovered. He eventually stepped out of the limelight to focus on personal projects. But for the Gen Zs who may not have been around when Cisco was at the top of his game, Cisco was an artist ahead of his time. His electrifying music and bold fashion choices set trends that would later influence artists like Chris Brown, who took inspiration from his style and sound.
They cursed out that one executive at the record label that put me on the blacklist.
Damn. Okay.
It was Leor. There you go. You happy now?
He blacklists a lot of people.
Right.
In this industry.
I was the first one. I was
Really?
black and I was on. I think I started it.
He's so funny.
For starters, Cisco was.
Is it just me, or did he kind of look like Russell Simmons on that couch? I don't know.
Best known
some good weed
for his 1999 album Unleash the Dragon, which featured hit singles like Thong Song and Incomplete. If he had maintained that momentum, he would have become one of the greatest R&B artists of his time, but not everyone wanted that to happen. But let's start from the very beginning. Born Mark Althaven Andrews in November 1978 in Baltimore, Maryland, Cisco was raised in a traditional black family. His parents, Alonzo and Carolyn Andrews, had two children, Cisco and his older sister, Donisha Althaven. His father, an electrician, hoped Cisco would follow in his.
Is it just me, or does he not look like Russell Simmons right there? I don't know.
Footsteps and enrolled him in a vocational high school. However, fate had other plans. It was there that he met Larry Anthony, James Woody Green, and Tamir Nokio Ruffin, who would later become his bandmates. His friend,
I believe one of them is one of the dudes that did beats for Pac as well at times. I had no clue. One of the Drew Hill members did a couple beats for Pac.
Friends nicknamed him Cisco because of his curly hair, which made him look like a Latino.
Don't quote me now. I'm gonna make sure I look, but if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn one of the members from Drew Hill, I ain't talking about like was the official, but like, Pac had a lot of music and he did like, a beat or two or so for him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Nickname would stick with him throughout his career and beyond. At the age of 14, Cisco and his three friends decided to form a band called Drew Hill, named after Drew Hill Park in their hometown of Baltimore. Cisco became the lead performer, and the group began performing at various venues around the city. Though their early days were tough, they all landed minimum wage jobs at a candy factory called The Fudgery, where they made candy and sang songs to rehearse for their upcoming gigs. It was their way of earning money while pursuing their dream. Just 2 years after graduating high school, Drew Hill hit it big. In 1996, at the age of 18, they were signed to Island Black Music Records, found.
And that's right when I remember hearing them too around that time. I think I was like ninth grade. I think I remember that.
By Hiram Hicks. Their first song, How Deep Is Your Love, was recorded. But before that, in 1995, they had tried their hand at gospel music. After their gospel experiment, their manager suggested they travel to New York for a talent competition. Despite some hesitation, they agreed. It was at that competition that Hiram Hicks took notice of them and offered them a record deal. After experiencing the extensive success of their debut album, Drew Hill sued Hiram Hicks and his brothers for allegedly attacking one of their managers, Keith Ingram, with a pool cue during a party on May 18, 1997. Island Black Music Records, however, denied the allegations, claiming they were fabricated. To avoid further embarrassment over the lawsuit, the label decided to settle out of court, offering Drew Hill a $5 million advance and a royalty upgrade of 20% on each album sold. But
So they're saying he was difficult to work with. Okay, so because they're saying they ran him out the industry. Now, I'm trying to see where they get to that, but we got some more time on it. So let's just keep listening. And salute to everybody in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, subscribe to the Wildest Wake Up Show with Sharon Bracey. Support our own, because we are all we got. Let's get back to it.
Drew Hill turned down the offer. Here's where things get interesting. Instead of accepting what the label had offered, Drew Hill demanded to be released from their contract. But that wasn't all. They also requested a whopping $9 million. About a year after signing with the label, Drew Hill and Island Black Music reached a settlement, and the band ultimately decided to stay with the label. However, they never disclosed the details of their final agreement to the press. However, James Woody Green, a member of Drew Hill, left the band in 1999 to pursue a solo career as a gospel artist. The rest of the band followed suit, with each member.
Now, I do remember hearing that. I do remember hearing a story about that's what took place. What I thought was the whole group started doing gospel. That was the rumor, back in the day before we had internet. That was the rumor that they started doing gospel music, and they got signed by Kirk Franklin or something. It was I don't know. We just be talking back in the day. Let's go ahead and get it now that we got actual information.
Pursuing solo projects, but they all signed an agreement to reunite in 2001 to drop a new album. Sisqó's solo career reached great heights, especially with his debut album, Unleash the Dragon, which earned him 2 Grammy Awards, one for Best R&B Album and another for Best R&B Song. He was nominated in 4 categories during that time and was signed to Def Soul under Def Jam. His hit song, Thong Song, went on to become a worldwide sensation, reaching the top 10 on European charts and ranking number 3 in the UK, Netherlands, and Denmark. But here's the kicker. Word on the street is that Thong Song wasn't originally written for Sisqó. It was meant for Michael Jackson.
Oh, hell no!
The Thong Song was originally for Michael Jackson. Can you imagine? I don't know. Do you think Mike could have pulled it off? Could Mike have pulled off Thong? Like the actual song? I'm trying to picture him singing it, man. I'm actually trying to picture it. That's funny. The Thong Song was originally for Michael Jackson. Oh man, the things we learned.
According to Marcus Collins and Tim Kelly, here's what Collins had to say about it.
At the time, me and Tim, we basically were in a creative space thinking about Michael Jackson a lot. We knew we eventually wanted to get on Mike's album. So we were doing a lot of ideas that were out of the box from the normal things people had heard us do. So that was creatively this new sound we were trying to forge before we were even in touch with Sisqó. I know he's adding the kick in too. It just sounded very urgent. You knew that it was a game changer. But again, we're thinking Michael Jackson. At the time, we wasn't thinking Cisco.
In other words, fate had big plans for Cisco. His talent found the perfect opportunity at the right time. And here's what Cisco had to say about the song.
I have to poop, but it feels stuck. Stop!
People when they heard Thong Song. I made the song extremely simple, but there's a lot of complex things going on in the music. For instance, I had some people.
What is complex about a thong? But let me see. All right, let me see what he's saying. I don't know. Apparently, there's some complexity here. Let's see what we got. And I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is 8:03 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. Respect to you all.
Who worked on Star Wars. I studied a lot of different classical songs before we wrote the entire string session. The reason I wrote it was because initially the song had a Beatles sample from Eleanor Rigby. I had pretty much the whole song written, but while Cisco was celebrating his success, a major lawsuit was being filed against him by Ricky Martin over the song Thong Song. According to Martin's lawyer, he claimed a huge amount of money over the single, alleging that Cisco had stolen.
Wait a minute. Ricky Martin wrote the Thong Song for Michael Jackson that Cisco stole. Am I hearing this right? What in the world?
And the interpretation of Because You're Living La Vida Loca from his own song. Now, that was really wild. I mean, can you imagine someone suing you over 4 words in a song? It was definitely crazy, but Cisco had to pay up.
Oh yeah, a lot of people got sued over the slightest samples. And a lot of samples got yes I can. I know about sampling and what you can use and what you can't,
which resulted in a significant loss at the time. And here's where things get crazy. It seems that as soon as Cisco started experiencing some fame in the industry, trouble began to follow. Cisco became so famous that many people thought he was going to be the next Michael Jackson. But one thing about Cisco was that he was too loyal to his community.
I'm trying to figure out. I really be trying to figure out like how did he do that hair, man? Like I don't know, like if it itched, like did white stuff come off his hands? I wonder how they. I mean, I know it's dye. It's just
sometimes to a fault. Soon, music executives like Leo Cohen began to find issues with him. And in an interview, Cisco addressed this issue, saying, once you get to that level of success, you have to play the game. That's what I did not understand. Cisco says, I thought that once you had success, your job was the Robin Hood situation. You know, I'm from Baltimore. Nobody has anything. When somebody had talent, I was hiring my uncle, my cousin, you know, getting people I knew to run the studio. Cisco's Robin Hood approach, however, didn't sit well with studio executives. Me and the label just started bumping heads because I was hard to work with, Cisco says. Instead of putting their person behind the console, I put my person behind the console. Instead of getting their rapper to rap on it, I'd get my cousin to rap on it. I guess from all of this.
Okay, what's wrong with that? I mean, it looks like what it looks like is he was trying to do his own thing, and the industry was like, no, nigga, you know, you don't think for yourself. We don't allow that. Oh man, it's amazing. And you know something, there are a lot of great artists and stuff that was ran off or what have you because they were really trying to start their own thing. Much respect to you. Hey, they was trying to do their own thing and they just ran them off. So let's keep on listening.
It's safe to say that caring for his people was part of what got Cisco pushed out of the industry. The simple truth is that Cisco wasn't playing by their rules in the industry, and it pissed them off, so they kicked him out. But moving on, Cisco constantly pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in the industry, and his record executives weren't here for it.
And you know what I wonder? when they say he pushed the boundaries of what's acceptable, I wonder if that means acceptable as far as how much freedom, how much range you have to do what you want to do, as opposed to us being your handlers. Just curious, because we know these stories exist, right? We know these things exist.
For example, Cisco had always been known for his signature platinum blonde colored hair, but when it came time to film the music video for Tell Me, the label asked him to dye his hair back to black, but Cisco refused, claiming that his hair was part of his identity. After much back and forth about the hair, he reluctantly agreed. But here's the scoop. During the shoot for the music video, Cisco snuck away and dyed his hair back to platinum blonde. Now, you can imagine how livid the music executives must have been when they saw Cisco with his usual blonde hair. It was then that he was told his hair would ruin his music career. But as the story goes, the executives followed through with their threat after realizing that Cisco's fans loved the platinum blonde look. Cisco's hair, among other things, set him apart from other R&B singers of his time. But along the way, Cisco was also accused of being gay due to his flashy style, which was closely tied to his hair. However,
No, I told you what it was. It's the simple fact that if you wore the leather vest with no shirt on underneath, the majority of your dances had to do with your stomach rolling. Yes, we thought all of y'all were. Especially if we had, like, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, you know, you got your little girlfriend and they screaming all over them. We were like, they're gray, you know, just use gray, you know. All of them were to us back then, you know. And then you got the ski goggles on. Come on now. You got on all leather sweating. All your dance moves is done in the rain. What do you think we're going to think? Of course we're going to think that. Like, I mean, let's just keep this all the way, you know? But anyway, let's get back to it. Why did Cisco get ran out the industry? And I swear I'm not the only one that still feels like he kind of has this, like, Russell Simmons look in this particular one right here. But let's go.
denied the rumors, saying he was comfortable in his masculinity.
Yeah, well, the gay rumors is once again unwarranted when
I'll tell you right now, for a minute, it died down till Diddy got busted. Diddy getting busted, it brought everything we ever thought back to life. I'm not saying him, but I wouldn't be surprised, would you? Let's just keep it a thou wow, right? Respect to you all. The time right now is 8:11 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. This is the Weekend of Love. We are right now tuning into Cisco finally reveals why he was ran off in the industry. Let's go.
I guess it was because my hair's blonde. Oh, that's right. Everybody dyeing their hair blonde right now. Everybody's rocking leather right now. Everybody's doing everything I did back in the day. Are they gay too? All right.
Are you serious right now, bro?
My mic is muted.
I guess the silence has it. Nobody asked nobody else what they gay, but I'm gay. I'm just a trailblazer, dude. I'm at the top of the list. I take risk because
He got that back in the day lisp. It's nothing personal. We all know back in the day that was dudes that talk with a lisp. Y'all don't remember them days when all the dudes that for some reason they all had a lisp. This is crazy. I'm not judging the man. I don't know. I don't care either way. But, you know, let's just see what they talking about, man. This is interesting. Nice little morning mix for us to ride out to. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Much respect to you all.
I'm not insecure about myself or my manhood, so I can do, what.
Bruh, you was dancing in leather vests with no shirt on. It always had to be like it was raining, and you had on ski goggles. None of that went together. Oh, and then Tim boots, leather, no shirt, ski goggles, dancing in the rain. Well, it was just sprinklers that they showered from the studio. Yes, bruh. Them dances and stuff y'all used to do was real even now. But you know what's crazy? We knew that was like for women, right? I be seeing a lot of these like new dances and stuff dudes be doing. I can't front, like the motions are real. It's just like, why are you doing your arms like that, sir? why are they doing this kind of wave? Like what's happening right now? And again, it's no judgment. It's just, it's crazy how back then I remember watching all of these R&B artists and how they dance. I'll be like, ugh. Because I'm a typical kid, got a teenager growing up, right? I'm listening to Hot Boys, No Limit, stuff like that. I ain't listening to this, right? Unless I'm on a date or something. And then here it go. I'm noticing how a lot of these things brought itself right back around. It's like, wow. Because he's right. He's like, a lot of dudes are. It's a lot of what I see today. I can't say, yeah, there is some reflections of back in the day that's right there right now. So let's go ahead and get back to it.
Whatever I feel like I, want to do to express myself as an artist, and it kind of, one of those things that I was able to do first, so that young artists now can express themselves without having fear of being called.
I think I'm gonna start cutting.
Appeared on Celebrity Big Brother wearing a black thong with his genitals on full display. According to him, he
Oh, hell no! That's hell no! Oh, 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 hell no!
What? On full display? I'm not even going to rewind it. I'm not rewinding that part just to hear that again. We're going to keep on going forward.
dressed like that because there was a challenge to determine who would be the hunk of the house, and he took the risk in hopes of a greater reward. After this drama, things became really shaky for Sisqó. Many people in the industry wanted him out, and artists like R. Kelly later released a diss track titled Pulled Up, which was aimed at Sisqó. One of the lines read, 20s on the drop, blue and yellow rocks, Keiki yelling stop, Sisqó's album flopped. Even though R. Kelly tried to dismiss claims that there was a beef between him and Sisqó, fans later found out that R. Kelly began hating on Sisqó after a televised interview where Sisqó said, and I quote, shutting it down when it came to R&B. Sisqó chose to be the bigger person and did not respond to the diss track. But as if all that drama wasn't enough, a woman named Jamila...
Wait a minute. So R&B artists, I ain't even peeped that. There were diss tracks between singers? Okay, so I'm not that surprised that comedians got beefs nowadays. I'm serious. I only thought that was between like rival sports members at Max on the outside, but for real, let's be for real. Rap battles, but nowadays they do have the verses. So let's keep going. I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is 8:17 a.m. East Coast Standard Time.
Farid from Switzerland sued Sisqó for child support, claiming that Sisqó had slept with her when she was 14 and he was 21. According to her, she met Sisqó while he was on the European leg of his tour. She said she was at a nightclub when Sisqó reportedly invited her back to his hotel, and the rest, as they say, is history. This news caused a major dent in Sisqó's career. However, he tried to bounce back by reuniting with the band, but their album performed below expectations, with many people calling it a flop. More trouble awaited Sisqó when, in 2003, he and his then girlfriend were arrested for firing shots at a neighbor's car.
Okay, all right. Now, okay, so he had a girlfriend. All right, see, I don't know all of this. I never kept up with them. You know how, like, I was one of those, I only saw it when, like, I was in a grocery store with my parents and they had, like, Word Up magazine and stuff like that. You know, you just be kind of, he'll pick it up because you're just bored, right? It's the only time I seen it.
Parked outside their house. After his release, it seemed like Cisco vanished into thin air until 2015 when he created his own record label, Dragon Music, and released the song Last Dragon. However, Cisco later told ABC News that he was blackballed by mainstream music executives after he pushed back against the industry. But moving on, when it came to Cisco's romantic life, Cisco got
that Masked Singer show. Yeah.
Married in 2018 to
I didn't know he was on there.
Elizabeth in Minneapolis after the duo had dated for 15 years, and at the wedding, Cisco performed his famous controversial thong song at the reception. According to him, he performed the song because Elizabeth's thong was the last one he was ever going to see. Now, amongst all the rumors that were made up about Cisco,
what?
One of them that he found pretty hilarious was that he once dated Beyonce. However, to avoid some Jay-Z trouble, Cisco shot down the whispers, claiming that he and Beyonce were just friends, and that was only because the duo were around each other during their early years in the industry. Seeing that music wasn't really working out for him like it had in the past, Cisco decided to branch out and start multiple businesses. One of his ventures included a clothing line, and he also began writing children's books. According to Cisco, even though the industry tried to erase him, he was still doing well and was happy as he's now his own boss and doing his own thing. But I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Do you guys think Cisco would be making a comeback to?
Nah, that man ain't coming back to the music scene. But I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, what artists generally do now, I'll speak on that briefly before we get up out of here. Because, yeah, got to go ahead and get dressed. So what I would say to that is no. But what a lot of artists do is they make sure that they transition. They make sure that they actually, like, they grow from just like doing the music. Now, maybe they help produce and bring in other younger artists behind them. Keeps the check running in. If not, you get more. Some of them get, you know, of course, acting, develop their own business. See, you have to know how to have something that's going for you. You see what I'm saying? So, look, what I'll give you guys is this before we get up out of here, right? Keep in mind, right? Because I really want to tap back in on the appreciation of life before we go. I really do. I'm so serious when I tell you. When you genuinely have something in your life, when you have, I mean, it's not always going to be what is the, like, even me, what I have around me, it's nice, but it's not the best. There are homes that shit on mine, right? But the fact is that I absolutely love everything that I have. All of it. I love and adore all of it. You know why? Because I do remember not having it. But watch this. I know what it's like to have it, lose it, and get it back. And so the thing about it is that you don't want to continue that cycle. The thing about when we speak of any form of like real happiness or any of these things, we always have to keep in mind, it's not how you start, right? Don't we always remember hearing that? It's not how you start. A lot of us can come out the gate, bang, we doing it, right? Not everybody either finishes the race and or wins it. I'm more concerned about crossing the finish line more than anything. Because when you get it and you stay in your lane, you recognize I'm in my own race, right? I'm trying to beat my own time, my own records, right? You see, it's never about competition. This is when you truly find bliss and happiness within yourself. This is when you really start to recognize it. I really started to recognize the beauties of life when I realized how intricately diverse it is and designed for a reason. It's designed this way for a purpose. You see? And so when you submit to that, now that will be the one thing I would say I do submit to. I submit to the fact that life is what life is. It is. Life is what life is. Now, what do you do with life when it's around you? That's why I played that video about the African guy who designed and put together the prosthetics, arm and stuff out of scrap trash. Just went on ahead and took something that was that most of us would see of no value, walk not only past it, but on it, literally step on it. He was able to go to that very same spot, and he was able to take that same trash, and he developed a whole robot with it. I'm talking about to the degree that our military got eyes on him. Our military looks at him. Lord knows what kind of knocks on that shed door he's gotten by now. So my point is that when you genuinely do appreciate life, you'd be surprised what it is that you can accomplish. But you know, you have to first start with appreciating yourself, because when you learn how to gather, when you learn how to gather yourself, you get it. It all sinks in, it all starts to mesh. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I absolutely appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank you so much. So we're going to see what we can end this off with, right? Let's just do it the simple way. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go hop in the shower, and I'll maybe have some pictures for you guys later or something. I don't know. I'll see, but I'm definitely going to get some pictures going though for you guys, and just kind of share with you. I'm talking about just me type stuff, you know, just kind of share with you what it is that I'm doing, and primarily my progress on me walking. And this is one story I want to tell real quick before I go. I almost forgot. So speaking of that, right? So I wake up and I go and I'm ready to go make 2 cups of tea, right? And I'm sitting there, so man, I've been in the corner and I thought somebody was sitting on my couch. Nah, it was just my lady, man. I said, who's sitting on my couch with my shoe on? You gotta laugh at yourself, boy. I tell you, you gotta laugh at yourself. But nah, yeah, this is definitely my life. It's been such a beautiful experience. The good, the bad, all of it. I absolutely thank God for everything I've been able to experience. Now let's go ahead and get up out of here.
I've been pushed off ships, walked the plank of life and swam with sharks. Man, I swear this world has no heart. I'm in the belly of the beast, starving. On my knees, hands together, eyes closed, praying for love like Marvin. On this pebble filled with illusions. But the theory of man is cold to project fear in the eyes of humans. I'm on Babylon, earth tossing and turning. The core's burning, but these niggas still don't get the message until miles of pain and misery is all you left with. So that's why I opened up my mind, traveled deep in scuba scuba dive, aqualize the obstacle to achieve the impossible. It's sad, but it's funny. Life's too short to be another buffalo in the herd. You'll just jump off the cliff with the rest, is my word. So keep your mental focused and your head above water. And when it comes to evil spirits, never take no orders. I walk a thin line, but at the same time, I try to keep productive. Build strength in myself, deplete thoughts destructive. I'm at war with the world, that's why I'm so reluctant. Deep inhales the candles, my mind's lifted. See through the surface of life, remain optimistic. Understanding in its own way, we all are gifted. The aromas of the auras and the wind drifting. Don't be fooled, it's the love that keeps this world spinning. It's the love that keeps this world spinning.
My brother.